Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
A popular grocery store closing its doors. It's a Vons grocery store here at Durango and Desert Inn. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne went to the store to see what's happening.
By all accounts, this Vons is very popular and very heavily traveled, leaving customers with questions and, as is often the case in these situations, not a lot of answers.
We actually live quite a distance, but we like this store so much we come here. And we always find some really good bargains.
And there are already plenty of bargains now that Vaughn's store on Desert Inn in Durango is closing. Signs already saying 75% off. The Starbucks closed a couple days ago. But the pharmacy is still open, which is one of the selling points for Michael Playstead and his wife Nancy.
We've been getting all our vaccine shots here for years because for some reason they never hurt here.
I come here every other day.
Colleen Hill stops by on her way home. She uses a lot of storage. Still, it's an inconvenience. Did they give you any reason why it might be closing?
No. Nope, I went to find something and he says, we don't have it anymore, it's gone, we're closing.
You guys go ahead and do your thing.
Customers hearing that the store will close in early November. This store manager says it was, quote, just part of doing business. Can you tell us why it's closing?
Really, just we make these decisions. They're difficult decisions, and we just make them.
Because it's a very popular Vons.
It is.
Would you say this is an inconvenience?
It is. It's a huge inconvenience because now I got to go all the way down to either Albertsons or cut up to Smith's on Fort Apache, so it is inconvenient.
The good news for those customers is there are 5 Vons within 10 miles of here. Reporting at Durango and Desert Inn, Kyle Payne, 8 News Now.
After Kyle left, Albertson sent a statement. It reads in part that this Vons, quote, is slated to close to help strengthen operational efficiencies. The decision was difficult and involved a lengthy evaluation. The store's exact closing date has not been determined.
Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. This is your humble servant, the Big Levi. And today is Madim, October the 24th, 2023. And it's currently 10:19 a.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded. Welcome, beloved. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here, beloved, okay? Now, we just watched this clip over here in Las Vegas, okay? They are closing down. And, of course, they are telling you, well, we're closing down because we want to be more efficient. Before I go any further, beloved, forgive me. We have the window open, and of course, we stay in the hood. There'll be a lot of noises and cars and people yelling and stuff, so you might hear those things in the background, so forgive me. Now, those folks are acting like this thing that is going on out there, it's under their control. They close because of their own volition. They close because we want to, because we see that we want to be more efficient. Okay, that's like at McDonald's. They got a McDonald's down the street. They got another one next to that street. If McDonald's have the opportunity, or they see the opportunity to put a McDonald's in each corner, they will do it. They will do it. It's when they are not making money. It's when things are sliding down. Things are slipping off out of their hand. The blessing is over. They are closing. Well, it's either, well, no, we are closing because too much theft. You people acting, you businessmen acting like you do not control the politician. You do not make the law. You do not tell them, hey, make this law against those people and against that people over there. It's because now the people that are committing the majority of those thefts are you people. Or you 83. The people that are on drugs and selling their bodies and selling drugs and stealing and selling other things are 83's kids. So they don't want their kids to go to jail. And they know what they were doing to us was wrong, though. So now they are closing those stores, and they are saying, well, the reason why we are closing this store, it's because we have 5 stores within 5 miles or whatever they are to close. So, we are not making enough money. We're going to close this so we can become more efficient. That's a lie. That's a lie. The blessing is over. The money is done. The economy is gone. This economy crashed years ago. You just don't want to say it because you don't want to cause a panic. But this thing crashed. It never... ever since 2008, this thing never got backed up. Okay, now we're gonna watch the clip again. We're going to see the fellow in there, Mr. Michael, okay, which is always in the midst. All right, let's watch the clip again. All right.
A popular grocery store closing its doors. It's a Vons grocery store here at Durango and Desert Inn. 8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne went to the store to see what's happening.
By all accounts, this Vons is very popular and very heavily traveled, leaving customers with questions and, as is often the case in these situations, not a lot of answers.
We actually live quite a distance, but we like this store so much.
Those birds are loud out there.
And we always find some really good bargains.
And there are already plenty of bargains now that Vons store on Desert Inn in Durango is closing. Signs already saying 75% off.
75% off. Then again, we always look for the clues. We always look for the numbers because the numbers, they speak to us. Okay, 75%. You know what to do. Let's keep on moving.
The Starbucks closed a couple days ago, but the pharmacy is still open.
There was a Starbucks in there which closed a couple days ago, and the pharmacy is still open. And those folks want to tell you, like, okay, well, it is just us. But the Starbucks closed. And the pharmacy will close. All this thing will close because you folks are running out of money. The blessing is over. The contract is done. You need to pack your hish and get the hell out of here.
Which is one of the selling points for Michael Playstead and his wife, Nancy.
We've been getting all our vaccines.
Okay, the dude name is Michael Playstead. All right, and his wife Nancy. All right, so, and when you look at those folks, I mean, what else they gonna do, man? Like, okay, they have another 30 years to go. You think those folks gonna live another 30, 40, 50 years? You think they're gonna leave that, they're going to, like, somewhere, I don't know, retired in there and stuff? Because the blessing is over. Those folks are at the end of the rope, and that's it,
Seen shots here for years. Because for some reason they never hurt here.
I come here every other day.
Colleen Hill stops by on her way home. She uses a lot of stores. Still, it's an inconvenience. Did they give you any reason why it might be closing?
No. Nope, I went to find something, and he says, we don't have it anymore. It's gone. We're closing.
That's the thing. I'm assuming she's one of the manager or head HR, those people that always act like they are so smart. There's people that always act like the reason why they are HR, they got these jobs because they went to college, they have this degree, and they are super smart. They have this high IQ. They know what they are doing. When in fact, every time they go to this company or they are in charge of this company, they run the company to the ground. Okay? They run the company to the ground. All right, they don't give anybody any specific reason. Well, we just make this decision. It's very hard for us and stuff like that. Okay, all right then. Let's listen to her.
You guys go ahead and do your thing.
Customers hearing that the store will close in early November. This store manager says it was, quote, just part of doing business. Can you tell us why it's closing?
Really, just we make these decisions. They're difficult decisions, and we just make them.
Difficult decisions, we just make them. Since when the so-called 83 likes to make difficult decisions or difficult things, difficult tasks? Those folks always like everything easy. They came here, they got free land, they got free stuff, free money and free stuff. When was the time that 83 ever did something that is so difficult? We make difficult changes. No, the blessing is over. It is done. You folks are out of here. No more blessing to go around and pump yourself and pridefully come around there and telling people like you're so smart or you have high IQ, you can manage business. No, you can't.
Because it's a very popular Vons.
It is.
Would you say this is an inconvenience?
It is. It's a huge inconvenience because now I got to go all the way down to either Albertsons or cut up to Smith's on Fort Apache. So it is inconvenient.
Of course it is. And there's one thing that we do know about 83. They do not like inconvenience. Especially if this inconvenience is messing with the blessing. You think what happened in 2023 or 2020, excuse me, the whole plague that locked out the world, a huge inconvenience. You think they would have done something like that to themselves so they won't enjoy the blessing? Those folks despise inconvenience. And the greatest inconvenience out of all of it is seeing your face in either their neighborhood or even worse, your own neighborhood. They simply they hate your guts. The so-called 83, they simply hated you. They hate your guts. They don't want to see you in their neighborhood. They don't want to even see you in your own neighborhood. Because having your own place to stay, it's even a bigger threat than you being with them. Because you can gang up with or come together with your brethren when you're in the hood or wherever that is, and you can come against them. They don't want you to be alive. They hate your guts. They despise inconvenience. And then people are saying, well, they are closing this stuff because they are doing this so they can bring Jacob's trouble. The elite are closing all the food so they can bring the famine. No, the elite are not doing hash, man. The elite can't do nothing because the so-called elite, 83 in general, they do not like any inconvenience. They do not like anything to mess with the blessing. They want to enjoy everything, the rape and robbery, everything that they had taken from us in peace. And peace. That's what they want. But the Holy One has his plan. And the plan is working perfectly.
The good news for those customers is there are 5 Vons within 10 miles of here. Reporting at Durango and Desert Inn, Kyle Payne.
There's 5 Vons within 10 miles. What is it? What's the inconvenience in that? What's the convenience in that? I have to drive 10 miles to Nam, and that thing is right next to me. What the hell is this? Nah. You folks close because there is no more money. That's it. Those people always acting like the reason why, for instance, every single year they release their numbers. Oh, Target make 2 billion. Walmart make 100 billion. Albertson make whatever billion. Did you know they never actually make those money? Most of those money are government subsidies. Those people don't know how to turn a profit for ish. They only know how to steal, how to grab. Actual commerce, mercantilism, they have no idea how to do this. All right, let's see this word. See if I'm correct here. There we go. There we go. Define mercantilism.
Here's the definition of mercantilism: belief in the benefits of profitable trading, commercialism.
They have no idea how to do anything commercially, so to speak. Those people can't trade nothing. There is nothing they can do that can bring a profit. They can't. It's not in their DNA. It's not in them. It's not in their blood. They don't know how to do business. They only know how to swagger jack, overtaking business, stealing everything. They only know how to wait until somebody start a business, get things good, and then they come over and they overpower this person and they took everything that person has. They only wait when someone get blessed and they come and kill that person and take the blessing. They have no idea what to capitalism. Those people are terrible at capitalism. They are terrible at communism. They are terrible at socialism. They They don't know how to do none of those things. The only thing those people are good at is to steal land, steal profits, steal resources. That's all. That's all. They don't know how to take $100 and turn it to 200. They can't do that. However, they do know how to take $100 and buy poison and kill someone and take that person profit. They don't know how to run a business. Have you ever seen those people run a business? Have you ever worked with them and see what they are doing? They will run that thing to the ground. They don't know anything about nothing. They were living because of the blessing. All the money those people are always claiming they make, those are our money. We are the biggest consumer on this planet. Our people decided they are not going to spend their money like this. Our people decided they are starting their own business. Our people decided, hey man, I ain't gonna vote for you. I don't care what you say, I ain't gonna vote anymore. Our people decided, oh well, you guys are fighting each other over there in that whatever that you're calling Holy Land. I'm staying out of it. This is none of my issue. That's why you folks can't make any money. That's one. The second reason is you guys, instead of passing this business to our people, because your population is declining, infertility, it's a fact. I'm not making this up. This is not racism or none of that. You are dying. See that every person that they are interviewing that are the CEO and whatever, they are very old. And they can't make the young people CEO because they are on drugs. Okay? They are on drugs. So let's move to the next video. We got here.
Absolutely. Pedro and Cher, as you said, tonight we are hearing from the victim of this violent attack, which happened on Friday afternoon here in downtown Long Beach. She tells us she is speaking out to warn other women and also to push for tougher laws to keep criminals behind bars.
I mean, I'm just lucky that it happened in daylight and not at night, because then I probably would have been raped.
You're about to see a sexual attack caught on camera. Rebecca Peterson is simply walking in downtown Long Beach, unaware that a man watching her jumps up from the sidewalk, unzips his pants, and starts following her. Then, within seconds, he pounces, pulling up her skirt, thrusting against her, and knocking her to the ground. Another man sitting nearby springs into action and appears to try to pepper spray the attacker, who walks, then runs away.
In that moment, I had no idea. My first initial thought was like, is this someone I know, like playing a joke on me or something like that, you know? And then it was like a matter of seconds. I was like, oh no, and he's not letting me go. So I just turned real quick and then fell to the ground. I screamed profanities and then asked what the hell just happened. And then there was an older gentleman there that was ran him off with pepper spray, and he asked me if I was okay. And I was just, I don't know, I just kept asking like what the hell just happened in my head.
Long Beach police say they located a suspect hours later and arrested 30-year-old Miguel Avila, who is homeless.
The fellow name is Miguel Avila. Now, beloved, again, our women, our men and women and children, we are well acquainted with this type of things. Okay, our men and women were raped. That's what you guys did, and we had the terror. Our women were objects. Our men and children were objects unto you. You didn't even regard them as even properties. They were just things. You could use them for anything, which you did during child slavery, the Inquisition, and our people went through a lot of stuff. Things like that used to happen to us, and then now it happening broad daylight. And this guy Miguel, okay, for those of you who know what Miguels mean, we're not making this up, okay? We are not making this up, all right? Miguel, which is another word, type it in the chat room, type it in the comment board, let the people know what's going on here. Daniel 12:1, we are being protected. And fear and things like that are being put in the hearts of 83 to let them know things like that will happen to your women. Okay, whether our people want it or they don't want it, or whether our people are agreed and stuff, this thing will happen, brethren. We have no control over this stuff. Okay.
He was booked on suspicion of sexual battery and, in an unrelated case, theft of personal property. People who live and work in the area describe it as increasingly dangerous. They are urging city leaders to take decisive action to improve public safety.
The store right over here, the owner was hit in the head with a vodka bottle. She had 11 staples in her head and had teeth knocked out. We had a resident of the neighborhood right here was walking his dog at 5:45. He was clocked in the head with a pipe and had to go to the hospital for 11 days in ICU. So it's all the time.
Again, things like that used to happen in our hood, in our neighborhood, in our project, or whatever you want to call it. Those people were the cause of that. They were the one that promote and do things like that. What they did, beloved, they closed all the asylums, so to speak, all the psych wards, and they release all those people in the street, and they say they don't need place to stay, they only need medication, as if those people are responsible to take their own meds. Most of them don't. They don't care. They don't want that either. And then now, once they do this, and then they pump the drug in our neighborhood, in our people, they promote the drug in our culture through our music, through our movies. Well, we don't control the music, but through their music, through their movies, through their media, through the news, they glorify the drugs. And a lot of our people, okay, they will go ahead and do certain crime, petty crimes. Most of the people that are on drugs, they do petty crimes. You know, breaking and entering, burglary, break your car window, stealing your radio and stuff like that. Petty crimes. They never do hardcore crime. Now, what those folks did, when they have a violent criminal, somebody that they know for a fact this dude is a psychopath, they release that person and quarantine that person in our community. And these guys, they go around and murdering our people, shoot our people, and they know who did this. And those are the people that they don't put in jail for a very long time. They put those guys in probation. But anybody that do petty crimes or any stuff like selling a little drugs or whatever, they give them astronomical numbers of years in prison. And all the violent criminals, they release them and keep them quarantined in certain community. Most of those guys, they die out. Most of those dudes, they die out. If not all of them. But most of the violent criminals that those people literally release there to do all those stuff unto us, they die out. So now, they have the community, and then their own people are doing this to them. See, the problem that they created in our own community spill over to theirs. We don't have a community anymore. Our community, so to speak, is destroyed. Dr. Claude Anderson told you this. We are a destroyed nation. Our nation is destroyed. The destruction of this nation was televised. Every single person on this earth are well aware of our destruction. They will act like they don't know. And then now, the piper came in to those people and asked, pay me. They asked, where's my money? This is pay the piper. So now this guy is telling you, well, that guy, this business owner woman, she got knocked in the head, 11 stitches. That dude was walking his dog, clock in the head with a pipe, 11 days in the ICU. This fellow over there, it's every day. Just like in the other video in Miami, they are seeing these things are happening over and over and over. And they use the word, we are concerned. Another word, we are afraid. You folks were not concerned when those stuff were happening in our hood. You were saying we need to be tough on crime. We need to build more prison. We need to fund more to the police. And we need to get those criminals behind bars. But when it's you now, the whole narrative changed. Well, we need more health, mental health. Everything is mental health. That's what that is.
I'm okay. I'm just a little bit more spooked. You know, someone comes up behind me and I'm a little bit more reactive. Every woman needs to be armed with something.
Okay, look at this.
To protect themselves and take defense classes. That's what I'm about to just start doing.
This dude was trying to either steal something for her or some stuff. I don't see any sexual assault here. Because if that guy was a real rapists don't do things like that. Real rapists, they things would have already happened. This dude is just one of those demons that out of his mind. Okay, so, well, 82 and 83 crime. Let's keep on moving.
Bail for Miguel Avila was set at $1,000. The investigation continues.
Yeah, we need to investigate what happened here. Yeah, whatever, man. So let's keep on moving.
A manhunt intensifying in Tennessee after police say 38-year-old John Drake Jr. shot 2 officers early Saturday afternoon and is still on the run. Drake, the estranged son of Nashville's police chief. Officials say the shooting happened 20 miles southeast of Nashville, outside of a Dollar General store, when the officers were responding to a report of a stolen car.
During that investigation, they had contact with a subject. They struggled with that subject, and during that struggle, the suspect produced a handgun and fired shots.
Witnesses described seeing the chaos, even capturing the law enforcement response that quickly followed.
Went around the corner and everybody was running. My daughter, she was actually pulling up to the store, and she came back out and said, they're shooting, it's a shooting.
A shelter in place was briefly issued for people in the area as residents like Rachel Damari remained on high alert.
I was just like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. I've been here all these many years. He shot 2 police officers and they was able to get away. I started looking around. I checked the bag, checked because got a pool, got up under the deck.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the suspect was armed and dangerous.
Okay, there you go with the skull in there. I believe that's a skull. May not be, but it looked like one of those scully skull thing in there. Just like the other 2 videos that we released yesterday with the guy with the bikers. So
sharing this mugshot with the public. Nashville's police chief also weighing in, demanding accountability and writing in part, I am shocked and deeply saddened to learn that my estranged son, with whom I have had very minimal contact over many years, is a suspect.
Wow, this dude quickly, distanced himself. This dude quickly distanced himself. It's like, yo, I am shocked and deeply saddened to learn that my estranged son, not my real son though, you know, estranged wife, like son that I barely have contact with. I've had minimal contact with this fellow over the many years. I don't know what he was doing. He's the suspect. Don't be tying me up with this. This dude said, don't be tying me up with this ish, man. See, a lot of those folks that look like us, they are going under the same punishment with 83. That's why they told all people to get out of her. So if you stay, you're going to partake in her punishment. And those dudes, those chief of police, those boule fellows, you know, those guys, they enjoy the blessing too. They stay in a nice neighborhood. They got good job. And they are brutalizing our own people. They're brutalizing our people. And then now the heat is on them, and they're trying to. Well, I don't know this guy. I know him somewhat, but we have minimal. We barely know each other. So, yeah, whatever. Okay. So, not all skin folk are kinfolk. This dude looked like one of us. The 2/3 fellow that did this, he looked like one of us. Are they all people? Well, I'll venture to say, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Despite my efforts and guidance in the early and teenage years, my son, John Drake Jr., now 38 years old, resorted to years of criminal activity and is a convicted felon. He has not been a part of my life for quite some time. According to court filings in Tennessee, John Drake Jr. has a criminal history that spans nearly 20 years and is now wanted for 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Tonight, both officers injured in Saturday's shooting are out of the hospital. And John Drake Jr. has been added to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list. A reward of up to $2,500 is being offered for more information, leading to an arrest.
$2,500? Really? Get out of here, man. Let's keep on moving.
The man arrested for a hit-and-run accident in Dallas that left one of the victims with devastating injuries is believed to be an illegal immigrant who Immigration and Customs Enforcement wants held so he cannot get out on bond.
41-year-old Gilberto Salasguera is charged with 5 counts of collision involving injury or bodily harm. The pickup truck he was driving had temporary paper license plates. We also got a closer look today at the damaged car the victims were in when they were hit. Fox 4's David Centenary has more.
25-year-old Alan Tienda is getting an up-close look at his crushed 2019 Dodge Charger for the first time Monday, 10 days after it was T-boned in a hit-and-run crash at East Keast Boulevard and South Marsalis Avenue. Tienda and his wife survived, but were sent to a hospital in critical condition.
I don't know how I got to the hospital. I don't remember nothing.
Tienda spoke with Fox 4 over the weekend after Gilberto Salasguera was arrested. Police say the 41-year-old ran a red light and crashed his 2012 Ford F-150 into the couple's Dodge Charger before abandoning his truck and running away on foot.
And I didn't think they were going to find him. I honestly didn't.
Man,
according to the arrest affidavit, the F-150 is registered to Salasguera, and his Mexican passport was left in the truck. A detective made contact with Salasguera's ex-girlfriend, who told police he called her the night of the accident and told her he was involved in a crash and needed a ride.
You always got to think about what you do before you do the things.
The Dallas County Sheriff's Office says there is a federal illegal immigration hold on Salasguera, which means he's unable to post bond.
So this guy, illegal immigrant, so to speak, where did he get the money to get this truck, this 2012 truck? And he hit the guy, he fled, he almost killed him. You can see the dude eyes red with red blood, you know? Wow. And he fled, so they arrested this fellow, and what else are they gonna do with him? Are they going to release him back? But we really don't care. But all we know is 82 and 83 crimes going on out there. A lot of stuff is going on. So yeah.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has not responded to Fox 4's requests concerning details of Salasguera's immigration status. A record search reveals his criminal history includes 4 traffic violations. One is a conviction of driving without a license in 2019.
Then you gotta face your consequences.
Tienda had bleeding to his brain and other injuries. His wife has a broken pelvis, shoulder, and head injuries. She remains in a hospital. Still, Tienda is grateful they're alive and around to take care of their 2 boys.
I thank God for giving me another chance. And
that's very rare. Usually those people don't survive. Usually they don't survive. You'll see the crash. Usually they don't. But this is very rare right there.
And I just thank him so much for giving me another chance to be here alive, to keep going forward and be here for them.
David Centenary, Fox 4 News.
Wow, how long we are into this thing? Not that long, right? 20 minutes? Oof, 33 minutes. All right, let's keep on moving.
The plane was diverted to Portland because somehow those 2 pilots who were actually working were able to subdue him and get him out of the cockpit. Don't ask me how, because that's my biggest question. Because when I get on a plane and that door shuts, it don't open again, right? Nobody can get in to help the pilots save themselves from a pilot. There is so much to this story I'm waiting to figure out. It is just, like I said, bonkers. But they were able to handcuff him and get him in the back of the plane. And here's what the pilot said when very calmly, as pilots do, requested of air traffic control, could you please have someone meet the plane? Yeah, here's how he put it.
give you a heads up. We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit, and he doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude. Other than that, yeah, we want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
I mean, cool as a cucumber, right? Amazing. Wish I were a fly on the wall just 20 minutes before that. In any case, Joseph David Emerson has a lot of neighbors. And are you ready for this? The neighbors say he's got a wife and 2 young boys, that they've all had great interactions with him, kind, outgoing, friendly. Karen Yee, one of his neighbors, had this to say to our San Francisco affiliate.
Totally shocked, and we still can't believe it. We're still shocked. Doesn't sound like Joe at all.
Of course it doesn't. I mean, with your name Karen, so it doesn't. And anytime a very violent or terrible crime like that is committed, and the person, they go dig the background, well, he's a good person, he smile, he do. No, that's not. People, everybody that you see out there, neighbor, wife, husband, whoever they are, whenever they step outside or they communicate with someone, they quickly put on a mask. Before they step outside, the moment they wake up, the first thing they do, they put the mask. Whatever that you're seeing is a facade, is a masquerade. People don't reveal their true selves until they did something, say, that was your true self. Those folks are demons.
I don't know what happened to him mentally that he would do something like that. He's always been very positive. He's very friendly. He's very upbeat. He's, you know, I know them through children. The children have played over here.
Yeah, it seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good guy. But why did he do this? Again, behavior like this, it's increasing. And we know there's a spirit of fear upon those people, okay?
Apparently, according to the passengers, the crew remained calm. The passengers actually thought they were just being diverted for a medical emergency, and that is where Captain Renee O'Shaughnessy comes in. She spent more than 3 decades as a commercial airline pilot with more than 10,000 hours on heavy jet aircraft, and she's the author of the book called, are you ready? This is Your Captain Speaking, What You Should Know About Your Pilot's Mental Health. Renee, thank you. Captain, thank you so much for being here. My very first question is your reaction to this story.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to the show and having this opportunity to talk about this shocking situation. We are just absolutely, in the aviation community, especially the pilots, we are just shocked and stunned.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
Wow, that was a reaction. We are just shocked and stunned. Well, I'm not shocked. I don't know if the nation is shocked. Are you shocked? Anybody in the comment board? Are you surprised? Are you like, oh my God, I would never thought something like that would have happened in the mid-air and it was by a pilot. Based on what we've been seeing, beloved, for the past few years, are you shocked at something like that? Are you shocked? For instance, train crash in Bangladesh. Okay. Australia, oh man. Let's take South China instead, because Australia are going to come after you. Okay. A freight train smashes into passenger train behind it in East Bangladesh. All right. The accident came after one train entering the track of the other, derailing them both. At least 17, the number of people killed in the train collision. At least 17 people or no more. The signal was most probably red for the container train. So far, it seems the train overshot the signal. The investigation committee will provide a definitive answer after their investigation. Because that's what 83 always say. We will investigate. After the investigation, we will give you a good investigating answer. And you never heard of those guys. Or they investigated themselves. They find themselves not guilty. That's all they do all the time. You think we are shocked with things like that? Train crash is that thing is daily in India and Bangladesh. It's becoming worse and worse and worse. We recently had one a month ago. A bunch of people died and nobody said anything. Now people are saying, "Well, I'm shocked." Yeah, well, not us.
Start tonight with the aftermath of a major 3-alarm apartment fire in Oklahoma City. It happened at the Penn Station Apartments near Northwest 122nd and Penn.
I know a lot of people in the area saw the smoke. News 4's Ashley Moss is live at the scene. And Ashley, we know people were trapped by the flames. Do we know how they are doing?
Well, here's what I can tell you, Kevin. An adult man and woman were taken to a local hospital in critical condition. They did get immediate care on the scene to reverse the effects of smoke, but their injuries were as a result of a huge file that broke in the apartment building that's over my shoulder. Let's show you some video so you can see how we got here. Now, the fire department told me that they got here quickly, but these massive flames that you're seeing got a head start on them. It started in one particular building and spread quickly to the second floor of an apartment building. The man and woman that they did actually find with those severe injuries were found in a bathroom that was on that second floor. The fire department tells me they quickly threw up ladders. They broke windows to get those victims out, but then you see what they had to deal with. They had to get the rest of that fire out, and that building was quickly demolished. District Chief Scott Douglas with the OKCFD says the firefighter was evaluated for injuries. He is alert and oriented, and again, his injuries are the result of the flames. Now, coming back live, the fire department does tell me that the fire was out a little bit after 8 o'clock, but families in 16 apartment units tonight are completely displaced. Not only are their apartments basically all burned out, but utilities, water, electrical, all cut off so that emergency crews can respond to the scene. So community action organizations are on scene tonight to make sure those families have somewhere to sleep. But this has not been a good week for Pennsylvania Avenue. We responded to a 3rd alarm fire earlier this week, just Wednesday, that also displaced several families. So we're going to remain on the scene, make sure we get additional information to you. We'll bring you updates throughout the weekend. Live in Oklahoma City, Ashley Moss, Oklahoma's News 4.
Well, that's what's going on, man. Fiery conflagration of the city. It's getting more and more intense out there.
In a troubling sign of the times, a road rage incident escalated into a face-to-face racial rant by a licensed Texas security officer. Fox 26's Dominic Keith is live in the newsroom tonight with developing details.
Okay, well, first of all, they already put a black woman there to, just, hey, be emotional about this. Act like this is the first time. Act like, I thought racism was over because I watch movies. I watch like The Avengers. There's a black guy in there. I watch Justice League. There's Cyborg, a black guy in there. I watch TV shows. We get along in the TV. We get along. I mean, at least in the media. Go ahead acting up. Be shocked. Oh my God, he says something about this race, whether they are Mexican or Chinese and stuff. We are not shocked here. We already know who we are dealing with. We already know who those people are. We really don't care.
Dominic.
Yeah, Tom, a security guard who was caught on camera spewing racial slurs at a black woman is now under investigation because the woman says he also punched and damaged her car, and she says he spit on her.
With me, you classic.
What you gonna do?
I tell you what.
I'm a stupid everybody.
Yeah, she is stupid.
Before hurling hateful words here, Denisha Lewis says she first encountered security guard David Tupper stopped in Stafford at a traffic light behind him. She says when it turned green, he didn't go.
I literally tapped the horn like this. Did you hear that?
Lewis says she thought she was giving a police officer a courtesy toot, but she says he continued to sit there on his motorcycle. When the left lane cleared, she says she went around.
I hear acceleration from the bike. And the next thing you know, he accelerates from the right lane and punches my side mirror.
Hitting the mirror so hard, according to Lewis, it cracked the plastic casing. So Lewis approached him here in the gas station.
And I said, "Excuse me, sir, did you really just hit my mirror? Like, I need some insurance information."
She says she couldn't believe the racist names he was calling her, so she started recording.
Yeah, she is stupid.
He hit
my plate. I'm a stupid. Fix your car. And stop honking at people when you don't need to. I'm not a coon. I'm not a monkey, and I'm not a. I'm black, and I'm American, and I'm human, just like he is.
Online, David Tupper.
That's the mistake. Just like he is not. You think people? You think those folks are human? They kind of, it's really hard for them to stay in that form. They kind of look like people, but they are not. People think like because he or she look like me, or he can talk, he can somewhat perform basic human tasks, they are human. No, they're not. It will depend on the soul that is, or the spirit that is in this person. Some of them are soulless. They are soulless. Okay? He's not like you or like me.
Tupper says he's a former law enforcement officer. Tupper is currently a licensed Texas armed security guard and private investigator. His gun is holstered on his hip in the video.
I would have made the wrong move, or gave him any. That's why he said all of those things about me, because he wanted to have a reason.
Exactly. That's why they do those things. That's why they say those things, because they want you to get emotional and then hit them. And then he's like, I was afraid of my life because this huge black woman came after me, and she like put her hands and grabbed something and tried to stab me or shoot at me. I defend myself. That's why they are doing those stuff, so they can find a reason, find a way to shoot our people, and then the whole media, the whole nation will be right behind them. So, oh yeah, well, those people are violent criminals, violence, this and that and this. But she handled this thing properly.
To take me out. You are trash. When I walked out of the store, he started to follow me. Come here, come here. And when I turned around, he spit on me.
Lewis says after he spit on her, she walked away and reported it to police. The Stafford Police Department confirms the incident is under investigation. Now, 2 security companies have taken to social media saying David Tupper is a former employee, and the companies say they find his behavior, quote, deeply troubling and reprehensible. I reached out to Tupper for comment, but I haven't heard back from him yet. In the newsroom, I'm down.
Okay, so, and then things like that, they will want our people to like go out there acting out like, whoa, yo, why this guy do this? Why you people are racist? If at this time right now, you simply cannot figure it out, or you don't know who you are dealing with, you think those people, especially those guys, the ex-police officers or guys that walk around with guns, or your friend, or they want to be friendly with you, or they are civilized, or even worse, they are human like you? No, they are not. Let's keep on. Well, let's see how long we are. There we go. Okay, beloved, why is all those things are happening? Why it seems like 83 is always in trouble? Something, their true selves are coming out there. Okay, back then, that guy with that gun in his hand, if it was anything pre-2019, this woman wouldn't be there to tell the story. Because they lost the blessing, they can't do the same thing that they used to do anymore. Once you stand up against those people, they just going to cower away and run. There's nothing they can do. Once they come up onto you, stand up onto them, there's nothing they can do. The reason why they are fearing, they are afraid, they are running around like they are paranoid, it's because Genesis 15 verse 13, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Yes, indeed, 2019. The 400 years ended. I don't care what people are saying out there, oh, there will be Jacob's trouble. Well, the righteous have to go to trouble. Have we not been going to trouble? Oh, the righteous need to go to trouble. So wait, you mean the Inquisition, chattel slavery, Jim Crow, the civil rights, till now, those were in trouble? No, those were like whatever. And one person make a comment saying, "Oh, well, they have to get Jacob's trouble because the cup, the Mosai only got one cup in his hand, so we have to wait until the Gentiles drink the cup, so they can refill the cup with the blessing and give unto us. No. Or we can't. This can't be Esau's trouble because the cup is still in our hand. No. It doesn't work like that. See, the mighty one have two hands, so to speak, analogous, and both of his hand there's cups. One cup in the left hand, one cup in the right hand. There's a cup of drag, and there's a cup of cleanness, of blessing, a cup of curse, and a cup of blessing. When we were drinking from the cup of dregs, we were under the curse, and they were drinking from the cup of blessing, and everything was doing right for them. Now the cup is switched. They have the cup of dregs, we have the cup of blessing. That's what it is. It's not one cup for both of us. It's two cups. They have their cup, we have our cup. They are drinking from the dreg, we are drinking from the blessing. That's what that is. Okay? Why? Then again, let's go ahead to the 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And the Holy One is judging the nation through the 10 plagues of the apocalypse of Abraham, or everything. Okay, let's keep on moving. All right, let's see the judgment. Okay, this is Mr. Beast tours 30 million mega mention of late Yankee Candle founder pack with the craziest amenities. Okay, this is Mr. Beast. Okay, all right. This is the guy that always, hey guys, and then everybody just copy it. Whatever that you're doing, hey guys. This is Mr. Beast. $30 million. Those guys enjoy. This is their mention. They got like, with over the top amenities like indoor water park, okay, bowling alley, a game room, a huge game room. See, they enjoy the blessing. Even over an Oval Office, okay? The Juggler Meadow Estate in Massachusetts was once owned by Yankee Candle creator Michael Kittredge. Is that what that is? Or Kittredge? It was owned by Michael. Okay, we see the blessing here. We see the message here. Okay? All right? There we go. Look at it. It's no surprise this property is totally lit. Beautiful. Those guys are enjoying the blessing, man. Private pool and stuff like that. They enjoy it. They did enjoy it. All right. So the message here is, whatever those, Michael, of course, is in the mix. Those people think they are going to get they got next. That's what it is. The next 400 years is gonna be them. No, it's not. The Holy One just going to give us all those stuff back unto us. Okay, that was the message. With the Mighty One praise and glory, and we move to the next video.
Thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Keith Garvin.
Good evening. I'm Daniela Guzman. A life-saving drug is making its way into a local community. Nalazone helps reverse opioid overdoses.
And it was handed out this evening at Santa Fe Middle School during a Cleveland ISD town hall on the realities of fentanyl use. KPRC2's Devin Clark was there and explains how the idea was received.
The auditorium was lined with several dozen photos and bios of young adults, some as young as 14 years old, all who died of overdoses. The idea was to address a glaring problem head on by exploring particularly one way to prevent it.
Now, you have a school, Bridget, okay? You bought naloxone in there, which is a drug. All right? Don't let those people try to fool you. It's a drug, a counter drug, but it's a freaking drug. In a school. Why? Because this thing is out of control. We told you, their young generation is drugged out. This is what they plan for our people. That's what they planned and did for the generation, well, what they are calling the crack generation, or the crack babies, the 80s babies. That's what they planned. The 80s babies turn out to be all right. Most of them turn out to be okay. of a small percentage of 80s babies for 1980s to 1989 till 90s, they turn out to be okay. But most of them, they're new, whatever Generation Z or Millennial, they're on drugs. Whatever that they plan unto us, it happened unto them. Now they have to go to the school to passing on this drug, naloxone. So if somebody get OD'd, so the children will use it. Wait, is that, hang on. Is it the town hall or the school? Right? Let me see. Because, hang on. The news is, all right.
Us at 10, I'm Keith Garvin.
Good evening, I'm Daniela Guzman. A life-saving drug is making its way into a local community. Naloxone helps reverse opioid overdoses.
And it was handed out this evening at Santa Fe Middle School during a Cleveland ISD town hall on the realities of...
That's the thing. A school, a middle school. And this thing... All right, let me just play this so this noise can go away.
Fentanyl use. KPRC2's Devin Clark was there and explains how the idea was received.
The auditorium was lined with several dozen photos and bios of young adults, some as young as 14 years old, all who died of overdoses.
Okay, the 14 years old, his name is Joshua, okay? We'll keep that in mind because Joshua was the one who fought for the land. Well, that got the land back from the Hamites or the Canaanites.
The idea was to address a glaring problem head on by exploring particularly one way to prevent it.
I didn't think it was happening in our community like that.
Yes. Most people I did not know this thing was happening in our community like that because they whenever they are talking about addiction and drugs, they have one picture in mind: us. They have one people in mind: our people. So they ignore this issue until one of their children or relative, until it hit home and they realize how bad it was. And by the time they do the whole naloxone or naloxone and going around and distribute it and give people stuff like that, it's already too late. It's already too late.
Statistics are alarming.
Just in a few weeks of school starting, we've had several students who have overdosed on what we think to be fentanyl, but
it is fentanyl. Beloved, you're talking about middle schooler, 14 years old, 13 years old, doing hardcore fentanyl drugs. And they will say, well, it was an accident, they come in contact with it. No, they were actually doing it because their parents are doing the drugs. Those are the 14, 13. Beloved, let's be clear here. Let's get one thing very clear here. Back during the crack epidemic, we did not have this. We did not have 13, 14-year-old overdose on crack. We didn't have that. The way that they have this thing, we didn't have that back then. Kids back then, they were afraid of drugs, and up until they become young adults, they become beat down. They become despair, and then they start messing with drugs to numb the pain. But we didn't have 12 years old, like 13-year-old, 14-year-old messing with overdosing. We didn't have this crap. Now look at you. You people are distributing this thing in middle school, for crying out loud. Well, next thing you'll know, they'll go to the elementaries. And then they will go to the kindergarten and the preschools. Well, we recently have that incident over there in the Bronx where the preschool children, 2 boys, they die because of the fentanyl. Crazy.
But we're waiting on the results to come back from the lab.
The CDC reports that fentanyl is now the #1 leading cause of death for people between the ages of 18 and 45 in the United States. At today's Cleveland ISD Town Hall meeting, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Rebecca Sanford spoke about how the district is being affected.
We've had to use Narcan, the life-saving drug, 4 times here in the district, and 2 of those students we actually had to use twice.
It's part of the reason why school district officials say that they're taking swift action to prevent fentanyl overdose deaths.
Fentanyl is very dangerous when you inhale it or you inject it or you smoke it or you ingest it.
Parents, students, and staff getting lessons on signs to look for during an overdose, ways to properly administer naloxone, which can reverse an overdose, and ways to get help for addiction.
Don't think it can happen, because all it takes is 1 pill.
I've been in there, and I know how people have been passed out behind me. So, like, man, you need to do something.
At the end of the meeting, these naloxone nasal spray kits were handed out following a demonstration on how to use them. Now, if you wanted one but weren't able to get one tonight, you can visit our website, click2houston.com, for more information. Reporting at Cleveland ISD, Devin Clark, KPRC 2 News.
Again, beloved, things like that, excuse me, things like that, when you're watching this, that means the problem is really, really very extremely bad. For them to go to that length, it is extremely bad. Okay? So you have to understand that the reason why those people are going around distributing this drug, promoting this drug, it is because it's affecting them. See, when this stuff was on us, everybody know here, they didn't promote the Narcan or naloxone or Luxone or none of that. They promoted prison, tough sentences, tough on crime. Okay? We have to be tough on crime. Let me see. There was let me see if we can find a video on YouTube. 1980s tough on crime. Not stuff. Oh, the cops. Okay. Okay. Let me see if we can find it. Is that Joe Biden right here? There we go. There we go.
So 25 years after the 1994 crime bill was enacted, we are still having conversations about the import and significance of the bill.
That 1994 crime bill, it did contribute to mass incarceration in our country.
Oh man, it did. This thing was created specifically for that reason, to target it our people and destroy us. That's what it was created for. Don't be sitting there and say, well, it kind of, like, I don't know, but you know, we can say it did. Yeah, whatever.
It's important that people remember the context of the political environment in the early 1990s.
The other big piece of legislation on Capitol Hill tonight is the crime bill.
Now, violent crime peaked in 1991, and the drafters of the bill...
Okay, this is what you guys used to do, okay? Breaking, you know, bring the drugs in the hood, okay? Monitoring the brother that's selling the drug. Once he sell the drugs, he make a lot of money, stack the money in there. About to get out of the business, taking care of his family, you guys break in and take the money, take the brother, incarcerating him, and then repeat the process. That's how you are getting the money out of the hood.
Bill.
Now, violent crime peaked in 1991.
Okay, this is what you guys used to do, okay? Dressing like this, entering people's house, drag them out because of drugs. Now you don't do things like that. Now we're talking about go to the middle school, give naloxone and Narcan and whatever, you know, mental health, and help them, because the plague is upon you now.
And the drafters of the bill didn't know that in 1993 and 1994 when they were drafting it.
Okay, so no, Bill and Joe, okay, those two demons, they destroy all people, and those guys think they're not going to pay for their crime from this crime bill. It's literally a crime bill. It's a bill to commit a crime upon all people.
Signing it. Urban areas, urban cities.
Don't be saying urban. Say the black community. You people love to call us black. You love to call it, whenever you guys wanted something directly, oh, well, you know, black community and stuff like that. But when you try to avoid the talk, urban community, inner city. That's what you guys were doing. You have all those, you know, detective dudes, TV-like characters, puffed up dudes, very proud you were in your blessing. You were destroying our people with the drugs that you put in our hood, our community. You were doing that.
Across the country were ravaged by crack cocaine, and Americans were afraid of crime. The 1994 crime bill was signed by President Bill Clinton. You know, this was a pretty significant bill at the time, and President Clinton and Senator Biden at the time were right that the bill was significant.
Yeah, of course it was.
Most significant federal effort to deal with violent crime in America that has ever been undertaken.
It was important for a Democrat at the time to be seen as taking a significant role in trying to reduce crime and violence in the United States. And at the time, the Congressional Black Caucus was part of the debate around the crime bill. And
again, you know, put those Negroes over there, you know, saying a few words, and those are the same Negroes. They are worse than the Gentiles. Okay, they'll beat on our own people, they'll snitch, and then they will target it and say, put it in over there, make sure you destroy those people over there, don't give those over there jobs, but give them drugs and said, those are the Negroes. And this dude is no longer here. He's in a very terrible place.
The Congressional Black Caucus didn't want every provision that was included in this bill. It became clear that the provisions in the 94 crime bill were going to be a political compromise. And so the history is much more complicated than is sometimes portrayed by the media. Now, what did the bill do? Just like a lot of political compromises, there was the good and there was the bad.
There was nothing good about this bill. Well, for you, of course. It was a terrible thing, targeted our people and destroyed our people.
For example, the bill eliminated 19 types of semi-automatic assault weapons. It also provided huge amounts of funding to hire cops. 100,000 cops were...
For what? For what? For a problem that you created. Arresting the addict and the dealers that you castrated, you economically castrated our people, our men, and then you put the drugs in there and they were hustling the drugs and take the money and taking care of the family. Most of the folks that were selling drugs in the 80s and 90s, they weren't stunting men. They weren't pimping around and do the whole thing. That's why they saw the drugs that they put in the community was actually helping the community. Drug dealers back then, they didn't play this H-man. They would not sell this H to kids or pregnant women. Remember the movie Biggie? Biggie didn't want to sell this thing to pregnant women. Back then, they didn't want to do that. They will sell it to the base head that have a need for it, and they will take the money, invest in it, buy house, buy things. Look into the Zopound in Miami. Those guys were starting businesses and building things, buying huge skyscrapers. So now they had to pay certain rappers going out there, act like, you know, they're selling drugs and take the money and buy car and clothes, whatever. Anyone that in the 80s and 90s that was selling drugs, they were staying low key. We research Wikiway Free Wars. Rick Ross or the real free Ricky Ross. Rick Ross was driving a all 1980 something beat up a car with a brand new engine and turbocharged. This thing was very fast, but the exterior, the cosmetic was not good. He was very low key. Most of the big drug dealers were low key. It is those people that came with the rap thing, showing those guys are flashing the drugs and money, and the two-third caught up with that. Back then, those guys were very smart, and they used the money. They did a lot of good things with it. And then that's what you guys hire the police and stuff, because the 80s, the crack epidemic was already over in the 80s. It was already over. This thing didn't last too long. It lasted a few years. Most likely, I would say 1980s to 1985. All people cleaned themselves off quickly. Then now you guys see that the drug become a blessing unto the community. Then you started with all those cops going around frustrating people, stop and frisk, and things like that, shooting our brethren and murdering them and stuff. And now look at you. Look at you.
Were funded. It was about $14 million at the time for community policing. The bill also enacted the Violence Against Women Act that provided funding to protect women and victims of domestic violence and crimes against women. But the most pernicious provision of the 1994 crime bill was its $12 billion that was authorized for states across the country that would enact what's called truth in sentencing laws. That funding literally pays...
Okay, that's what you guys did to our people. Our men peacefully standing there doing nothing. They were just, just relaxing outside, and you guys bring the cameras and stuff and then search them because they are criminals. Things like that. You won't see this in the so-called the white community. You won't see this. Did you see this in Santa Fe? Did you see this right here?
#1 leading cause of death for
Did you see that? You guys meet and talk and let's resolve this problem. We don't need the cops and all that. Let's just chill here and let's just do this and things like that. But when that hate was in our community, look at what we were doing to our men. Humiliating them. Effeminated them. That's why I don't blame any cowboys in our community, because their forefathers, they went through a lot, man. This shit is enough to make a man turn into a cowboy. They emasculated the man. Make this man spreading his leg, touching him, grabbing his stuff, and then holding his hand and grabbing him and touching him. Things like that pass on to the DNA of this dude and pass it to his son, and his son turned out to be cowboy because of the PTSD trauma that he went into. That's what you people did. And you think like at the end right now, when you lost the blessing, you're going to get raptured away. You think that's how that worked? No.
States to increase the number of prison beds that they allocated for individuals convicted of violent crime in this country.
What violent crime, dog? What violent crime? A little crack, violent crime. A little weed? Weed is even more violent than crime. Cocaine? No, cocaine is good. Cocaine is all right. You can get a pass. But weed was that was the worst thing you can ever possess, was weed. Because our people weren't truly into crack, man. They weren't truly into coke, crack and coke. They weren't truly into that. Only the hardcore, beloved, just like now, only the hardcore basehead were into crack and cocaine, man. Most of our people weren't into this thing. But they have to make it seems like not only we are committing all the crime and this and that and stuff, and you guys were tough on us. Look at the prison.
Serve 85% of
okay, look at the police.
Bars. The reason that provision is so important, and the reason we're still talking about it today, is the federal government essentially subsidized states across the country to build more prisons.
To build more prison. Not building more school, not building more medical center for training naloxone and things like that. Build more prison because we want to put these Negroes there and kill them. That's what you people did. And you never apologize. You never make any reparation onto this. This crime, this 1994 crime bill is worth $1 billion of reparation. Not even a chattel slavery. That's like trillions of dollars. That's like the Inquisition is Googleplex of dollars. The 94 crime bill, at least $999 billion. That's what you guys need to pay. You did this.
So 25 years later, the crime bill is being debated.
You stood up and used that tough on crime, phony rhetoric. That bill was a huge mistake.
It was not a mistake, beloved. Those people know what they were doing. They got caught, and then now they are calling. I'm calling you out. You did this. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. This bill came out and it did exactly what it was made for. Don't be backpedaling where it was a mistake and stuff. My bad. No, not your bad. You destroy all people with this issue.
No question that crime bill contributed to America's mass incarceration.
Well, America, that means like everybody. All of us.
Problem.
1994 crime bill, we had a gigantic epidemic in America of violence.
No, we did not. The 90s was the most peaceful. You guys make it seem that there was a lot of crime going on. A lot of crime. Now look at you. Compare now to the 1990s crime. Compare now to the school shooting from the 90s. Compare now to the overdose death to the 90s. Compare now to the domestic violence with the 90s. And you tell me, you guys make a phony bill, you use your phony media, you frame our people, you defame our people, you did these terrible and horrible things unto them, and then now you're saying, well, it was a mistake. We had to do this. Ever since we did this, the crime's been at low. Whatever, man.
Particularly in African American communities. The notion was overwhelmingly supported. It was supported by the Black Caucus in the United States Senate.
That's the thing. They put these Negroes out there. Those are not our people, okay? Those are not our people. They just put them out there. They say, hey, look, those black people over there, they support the bill, okay? I mean, we're not racist, but look at those black people over there, okay? Those Cory T. Bookers, those scumbags over there. They support the bill. They say it will help us get rid of the violent criminals. Get rid of all the bad blacks. We are the good blacks. Get rid of the bad blacks. So we supported it.
By and large.
And the reason that the crime bill comes up so often is, today in 2019, it is hard for so many people to understand why the federal government would pay states to incarcerate more people.
Not incarcerated more people, more black folk. Our people, the Israelites. That was probably the end of that was the last hurrah. They were trying to destroy our people with this bill. That's when they know, well, we gotta do something, to destroy this generation with drugs and make sure all the black men are in prison and the kids are not raising right and the women are alone, and then and pay a few of the women, make them very proud, and make them acting out. They don't need the men. They don't need anything. And so we can destroy the generation that is coming next. And the so-called millennial, that this generation, they come out okay. We are okay. Our people are okay. A few of us are backward, but most millennial, so to speak, in our community, we are okay. And whatever curse that you wanted for us, it fall on you. It fall on your millennial. It fall on your Generation Z.
Given the devastating consequences we know that incarceration causes, but at the time, policymakers felt the need to respond to what they felt was uncontrolled violence, and this bill was the way that policymakers, that Congress could say, reduce
uncontrolled violence. When the so-called Italian during the bootleg era were killing each other, killing other people, shooting, drive-by shooting, because they are the originator of the drive-by shooting. You guys didn't come with no bill to target them and destroy them. When the mob was doing all those violence in the 60s and 70s and the 80s, throughout the 90s, you people didn't come a tough on crime bill and mass incarcerating Italian and Germans and Irish and all that. No, you came after us.
Something about it.
Violent crime and the fear it provokes are crippling our society.
Lies. Lies upon lies. Now, the real fear is crippling your society. Yes. Hang on. Let's see something here. $1994 minus 2024. Great. Calculator. There you go. 1994 minus 2024. 30 years ago. Well, 30 years from now. Well, we will enter 2024. We'll see what's going to happen in 2024. We'll see. We'll see. 30 years from now. Okay?
The crime bill before Congress gives you a chance to do something about it. A chance to be tough and smart.
Okay, this is how proud those people were. Be tough and be smart. We were targeted. There weren't no help. You sell drugs, you lost in jail. You don't sell drugs, they'll arrest you. You walk straight, you walk crooked, you behave straight, all people were afraid because they know they were the target. That's what you people did.
We need to examine the crime bill and all of the federal bills that galvanized prison spending, that galvanized more arrests, more incarceration, and we need to look to the future.
Okay, they put a few Negroes, few people that look like us, a few of our own people, and brutalize us, put them as chief of police. That's why this chief of police, this dude, his son, go out there and commit all those crimes because they partake in the blessing with the Gentiles.
Future. And today, the United States leads the world in terms of incarceration. In fact, if each state were its own country, 23 states would have the highest incarceration rate in the world. Any candidate running for election who's serious about criminal justice reform, who's serious about cutting the prison population by 50%, needs to take a hard look at what has worked and hasn't worked in terms of our past criminal justice policies.
So now you have those people, my sentence 1 year in prison, my crime stealing Pampers. Okay, those are the senior citizen, he stole some Pampers, I don't know, for himself. Sessions, mandatory sentence, mass incarceration and storage. My sentence 1 year on Riker, my crime protesting. So now you have the curses flipping on those people. That's why they don't arrest people anymore in San Francisco or Portland or whatever. Because their children, they themselves are committing this thing. That's why they come up with laws say, if anybody stole whatever, like $100, less than $100, less than $200, whatever that bill said, don't arrest them. They come up with that because it's their people now.
And understand that federal funding to increase the number of beds in prisons across the country is simply not a way to create safer and healthier communities.
Okay, so that's what you people did. Don't be sitting in there and then act like, oh, well, now, and stuff, and we have to go to the school and give to the children and give to the middle schoolers and teach them because the community and stuff. When that hit one upon us, you didn't give money to the school. You didn't come to the school to do this. You come to scare us. You come to let us know that, hey, you're coming after us. That's what you guys did. Okay? All right, beloved. We are going to take part 2. We are going to take part 2, brethren, okay? Go ahead and look for part 2. We will see you in this part 2. We give the mighty one great praise, great glory. Yes, all those things must be paid for. Pay the piper. Pay the piper. The curse is upon you now. Shalom. See you in part 2.